Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Frostbite tribe. In the last episode, we saw the birth of yet another frosty warrior just after we defeated the second balance bear on the mountain. So clearly the balance bears are no match for our little tribe, and since this youngest generation has become like the strongest generation that we've ever had before, I think we might be ready to consider leaving the mountain and finding something a little bit more challenging for us. In particular, the killer island over here is looking very, very appealing. And considering that our tribe values the goddess of wars so greatly, what better way to honor her image than by trying to conquer the killer island? I think Thorn in particular has been sniffing around this place for quite a while, and he does want to prove himself too. He's been sticking by his sister Lavender as she tries to find all of these fish in the water. She did manage to find some, but unfortunately it's very hard for her to chase them down since she doesn't have somebody working with her inside the ocean. So she's also looking for a way to put her very unique skills to better use. And I think that also makes it clear who is going to continue running this island as we leave them behind. Violet is not willing to give up her tasty roots. She is going to stay right here with her father actually, as she digs up all of the roots in the area. She's right next to one right now, so why don't we have her dig that up for the extra food, and then she could scoot down here and get this one too. There we go, she's digging up all of the roots as they make their way down the mountainside toward Fang. She is feeling a little bit lonely out here because she did realize that she doesn't exactly know where her brother is, and that was her mission, to make sure that he was safe and sound, so she's very, very concerned. She thought she saw her brother in Goji, but that is definitely not the case. Now that she sees him up close, she can definitely tell that that is not her brother, though they might be able to do a little bit of a bunny hunting together. Maybe if we could have Goji jump way over here and chase down some of these bunnies so he can show his skills to Fang, our current leader of the tribe, to maybe try to impress her a little bit. Let's move her a bit closer so she might be able to help him gather up the bunnies, but not far enough away from this burrow, just in case something comes hopping out of there before it starts to snow again. So we can pick up all of that meat in the next turn, and then we can go over here where her sisters are actually trying to gather up food on the shores. So Pine, I think you were maybe considering jumping a little bit deeper into the water for a leech, right? It sounds a little bit strange, but if we move her right here, then she should pick up the leech. And then if we move Avalanche next to her, she can gather the leech up for the food. Desperate times call for desperate measures after all, but at least we do still have some shells to collect as well, so it's not all leeches. That's not their only part of the diet. Let's move Pine over in this direction as well so she can gather up this little shell, and then they can work together taking care of all of these crabbits in the water. They might as well, because it's basically free food waiting for them as they guard all of their shells like usual. Now you guys down here were also taking care of the crabbits, so why don't we move Nip to the other side of this guy so he can slap him from behind? Or maybe we'll have Rala do that first. There we go, with her double claws, land a whole bunch of damage on it so we can pick it up right away. And look at all of these shells. Like honestly, I'm surprised there's not more crabbits over on this side of the island. They all seem to be kind of sticking by this one lone tile in the middle of the ocean, including the leeches too. I did spy a little leech out here as well. This looks like a trap, doesn't it? They're waiting for us to bring one of our crackerjaw creatures down here to gather up all of these tasty shells so they can latch onto them and attack them overnight. But I think we only really have a Nasi up here on top of her throne, and this is her very last day too. So I guess she was a little bit more weary than she was letting on the night before when she stayed right by Nettle's side while she had her baby. Let's actually move Nettle out of the nest so she'll still be able to protect her baby, and then we'll see if we can move Anasi toward the shore just to pick up one last shell and say goodbye to her brother too. She could actually pick up this shell right underneath him and then give it to him to remember her by maybe. They had a lot of adventures together after all, so she can spend her last night right by her brother's side and thank him for bringing her along all of these adventures. You know, maybe we should actually have Nettle sit on top of the stump too, since it is still right next to the nest. She'll be able to see just a little bit further out in case we do have any other balance bear situations. So far it looks like everything is very peaceful on the mountainside. Since we got rid of Snowflake the balance bear, everything has been very, very quiet. So hopefully it'll stay that way as we continue bringing creatures over toward the killer island. So far we have Lavender and Thorn, and I think clearly Blizzard is going to be one of the ones who comes with us too. I mean, he is very connected to Animeme just by that giant crown of ram horns, but he is one of the most powerful creatures on this entire island right now, so he needs to go to the killer island too. And then I wonder if maybe shy little doe in the nest is also considering going with. She does have some very important genetics in her, the megaloceros horns, the digging trunk. It's a little bit unfortunate that she has the crippled paw, but she has a way to gather too, which is quite important for this tribe. The only issue with having such strong creatures with the double claws and whatnot is that they won't be able to pick from any of the berry bushes that we find, so we do actually need to bring somebody along who can do that for us. And I think Doe might just be the one ready for that job. So she is quite curious about the panda creature that she has seen wandering the shoreline for all of her life so far. So as Fawn skips her way a little bit further away from the nest to maybe talk to Kindle, we'll have her toddle her way out too, so we can possibly make room for Silver on the next turn. The very last child that I would like to bring with us to the Killer Island, I'm hoping will have the Hammertail in their genetics, and Silver is one of the few still carrying that. So we'll bring her back to breed with Thistle and see if they can have a baby who carries that with them as well. That would be ideal. I don't want to lose any of the prehistoric genes that we managed to find in all of our adventures here, so hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. Let's have Kindle just skip right back on top of his throne to reset the area around it so we can see just a little bit more. Thistle should probably do the same, and then I suppose we could have Daisy maybe wander out a little bit further to try to find something for her family. She does have quite the range, so she might be able to chase down some of the bunnies as well. Let's have her move up here. As long as she doesn't get too cold, then hopefully she can snatch up a few. She doesn't have the gray fur that Silver has though, so she won't be able to hide from them as well as some of her ancestors, but fingers crossed she'll be able to find us some source of food in the future. Let's actually have a Fawn maybe gather up one of these nests for now, just in case somebody else needs to use it. And then I think we might be just about out of safe turns for this day. The only thing we could possibly do is have Rala maybe try to find some more crabbits in the water to hunt. Yeah, we just have those over here by that very suspicious bar of land. So why don't you scoot a little bit deeper into the ocean so Nip will be able to help you with that one. And then I think we're all done for this turn. So let's just zoom out for now and skip the day and make sure that nothing comes stumbling out of the darkness at our creatures. So far so good. Let's listen for a moment. Let's sniff around too, but it looks like everything is still very, very quiet. So maybe Animeme is pleased with our efforts. She is very, very pleased that we're making our way toward the Killer Island, and she's allowing us the time to possibly prepare. And in fact, let's make sure that we bring Silver straight down here so she can have a baby on this turn. She even has all of these roots around here to dig up too, so she'll be able to keep her brand new babies fed. Let's move her right into the nest and then have a Thistle use his turns to breed with her. Now surprisingly, there isn't too much in terms of the mutation menu that we need to do for this pairing, because they do have very, very healthy genetics. We don't have to worry about the blindness, we don't have to worry about any special paws or even the hind legs. It seems like Silver does have the webbed hind legs in her genetics, but luckily Thistle has the normal hind legs in both of his slots, so that should be just fine. I don't want to mess with the snouts too much because we might risk getting rid of the digging trunk, and it would be excellent if we could bring these genetics over across multiple babies, because that'll make it easier to bring it out again in the future. We certainly don't want to mess with the tails either, because that's the whole point of this pairing. I don't want to get rid of the hammer tail, and even the fur would be a little bit disastrous to play with because we don't want to get rid of the gray fur on her babies. So instead, I guess we'll just let the pieces fall wherever they may. We'll keep the poison fangs out of it, and we'll see what happens with their babies. So this is going to be completely untouched by the mutation menu in all forms. Now why don't you go ahead and dig up one of these roots for your future baby? And it looks like little Doe actually has her second gem, so she can wander a little bit further away from her mother. She's very, very shy, so she doesn't want to get too far away from the watch of even Kindle, high on top of his throne. He looks so tiny too, oh my gosh. Because he has the medium body, he looks so small, but he is very, very mighty at the top of that stump. Now she can make her way over here and possibly meet some of the creatures on the killer ports. We'll have Thorn stay here for just a moment as Lavender dives a little bit deeper to try to find some extra food in the time that we have. Let's see, I think those fish have completely disappeared. They have skittered off into the darkness, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to find anything after all. We might just bring you out to maybe hunt down some bunnies or something with your brother while we're waiting for all of the creatures to migrate over to this location. I think Blizzard should be able to at least toddle out of the nest, right? Oh no, are you getting cold? Oh no, poor Blizzard, you're getting too cold, so he can't actually move right now. We might want to bring his father Nip up here so he can help warm up his baby, because we certainly don't want you getting sick now. That would be absolutely terrible. We need to keep this very, very special baby warm. So we'll let him warm up for that turn, and I guess that means, Rala, you have kind of been left on your own. So she won't be able to get those crabbits after all, but I suppose if we have her wander over this way, we might be able to pick up some bunnies instead. She is also pretty good at hiding from the bunnies, so we'll see if she can find any food in that way. Now you guys over here start slapping away at these crabbits, I guess. There we go, you can pick up that crabbit right away, and then we'll scoot Avalanche over this way. Oh no, this is her last turn too. So all she's going to be able to do is actually crack open one of these shells, and then she's going to be leaving her beloved sister Pine behind as well. So I guess Pine is going to have to make her way up toward Fang because we don't want her to be alone either. If it is getting very, very cold on the mountainside, then even these hardy creatures would run the risk of freezing on their own. Now I guess Violet is still a little bit oblivious of her father's attempts to impress this brand new lady that they found. But do we have any more tasty roots? Oh yes, right here next to Fang, in fact. So dig that one up for us, and then I think you want to scoot way down here. Oh my goodness! For the other one, oh, Amethyst, you scared me, Amethyst. I thought you completely disappeared, honestly. She vanished into thin air in the last episode when we banished her. So she is definitely getting on her own, but she wanted to come back and I guess give us a proper farewell. So she can chat it up with Violet as the rest of our creatures gather up all of these twig bushes and the food. Oh my goodness. I am going to miss Amethyst, honestly, because she is so cute with her big derp snout and all of those stripes. Let's have Goji go ahead and pick up his food as well. Yeah, she's making her way up to the top of the mountain. She was always our lonely wanderer, so it makes sense that she wants to stay somewhere very secluded. Now, I'm not quite sure where that other bunny ran off to, but we do have one way back here. Can anyone grab you? We might be able to have Daisy do it, actually. Maybe she could chase the bunny down. Oh, she's going to be just a little bit too short because unfortunately she doesn't have her third gem. So instead, why don't you take a little rest inside the hot spring to make sure that you're kept nice and toasty warm? And then we'll go back here and see if maybe we chase the bunny any closer to Koji. Oh my goodness, we just have this creature looming in the darkness over here. She is going to scare me every single time that she pops up on our screen. Maybe for now we could actually turn their attentions to the water since the bunnies are so far away from Goji and Fang. So Fang can call him over since she does have the nimble fingers. She would be able to pick up all of the shells down here too. It's probably one of her very favorite places. Honestly, do you want to come back to the tribe? Are you starting to regret your decision? You are just hanging around these creatures. Let's have Goji pick up the twig bush, and if she stays around for the next turn, then we might actually have to consider inviting her back. Now, I think all we have left to do is gather up some food with you guys back here. Are there any nearby routes for Fawn? She might be able to make it up to these if she scoots very, very slowly. She is very hard at getting around, but at least she can gather up a little bit of food for the rest of the tribe. And then let's have Thorn make his way up here so he can maybe talk with Doe for a little while. We'll see if we can find any bunnies in the area too. Unfortunately, it looks like there's nothing nearby, but maybe Kindle can find, there we go, one of the bunnies on top of the burrow. So we do have some over here. We might want to chase it down. Thorn and Kindle are actually brothers, but I'm not sure if they're aware of that because Thorn did leave the nest before Kindle was born, but they are both very, very similar in looks, and we did figure that they're probably both touched by Animeme in some way, so they must feel some sort of a kindred connection there. But that is once again all of the safe turns that we can make because we do want to keep Nettle right next to her baby. It's a little bit unfortunate that we couldn't get Blizzard a little bit closer to the other side of the island. It is going to take him quite a while to get there, and we don't want our other creatures getting too old in the process. Luckily, it's all part of the newest generation, so we shouldn't have too much to worry about. But let's see if this baby does have the hammertail in her genetics. Oh my goodness, of course, she would have the spit snout, just like both of her parents. And there we go, she does have the hammertail in her inactive traits. She is also very, very healthy. She has immunities K and F, and the cracker jaw sitting inside her little snout. So we could possibly bring that out again so we can hopefully gather up all of the shells in the water once we get to the killer island. Likewise, she has the velvet paw, so she's going to be very, very stealthy. That's good too. I would imagine that we will probably want to hide from a lot of the carnivores that we find there. So this baby may be the last of the 5 that we're planning to take with us, and I think we'll name her a Topaz. There we go. So little Topaz will make her way over to all of these ports as well. And I think quite a few of our creatures, like luckily we settled down next to these ports because we just have to wait for Blizzard to get all the way over there. And now that he is nice and toasty warm between his parents, we don't have to worry anymore about him. It does look like it's getting colder on the mountainside though, so we might want to keep a closer eye on some of the other creatures that are wandering the mountain just in case they start to get cold too. We certainly don't need everybody freezing just as we're leaving. So let's have Blizzard make his way out of the nest finally. He can make his way down here toward all of these clovers, and I think I'll also give him the blue gems, because that's typically what we used as our frosty line of warriors. So he can continue that line too. We'll have Rala jump on top of her stump and find the bunnies. There we go. So we might be able to chase the bunny a little bit closer to her if we bring Blizzard's parents up this way. So far it's holding its ground though. I'm actually quite surprised. Just a little bit further and then Rala should be able to jump on it and slice it up. There we go. Now hopefully little Blizzard is not going to get too cold now that he only has his father next to him. We'll keep Nip right there just in case. But if he does start to lose energy, then we'll make sure that he travels in a group of 3. Now poor little Pine is all on her own since her sister passed away, and we do want you to pick up the shells, but then let's have you start making your way, of course, over to Fang. I'm sure she'll be quite pleased to see you again after all. And let's dig up the tasty roots too. It does seem like Amethyst may have finally moved on again. I guess she wanted to spend just a little bit of extra time with all of her old pack mates. Let's have Violet dig up these roots as she gets a little bit closer to her pack mates. We don't need her freezing either, especially because she's giving us most of our food. She's even planning on staying behind and watching over all of the creatures who are left on this island, and that kind of takes care of our issue where we weren't sure if Lavender was going to become the next alpha or if it was going to be Violet. So I guess that means that Lavender instead will become the leader of the killer island maybe? Her destiny was never meant for the mountainside, and I think we knew that the moment that she was born with those big gills. So hopefully she'll be able to put her skills to better use once we do get to the new island. I'm pretty sure that it's just going to be a big grasslands biome, right? I've never actually played a game on the killer island before, so a lot of this is going to be quite new to me too. Now, Doe, let's see, where can we place you? Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to find anything to gather up right now because she doesn't have the nimble fingers. So instead, we might have her tag along with Thorn and Kindle to try to find some more bunnies. Let's have them scoot down this way. We don't want them getting too far, but if they can scatter the bunnies, then they might as well give it a try. Now, Fawn must be getting a little bit worried about her babies, so maybe we could have her make her way down the shores as well, kind of digging up roots as she goes along if we can sniff out any of them. So far I just see one over here, and Silver might be better suited to picking up that one for us. Likewise, maybe we should have her have another baby. She does have the opportunity to, since Blizzard hasn't made his way over here just yet. So just in case this one is even luckier than Topaz was, why don't we have Thistle breed with Silver one more time so she can place down a nest? We do have just enough material to do so, so we might as well give it a try. And we'll have Fawn start making her way away from all of these nests. This might be like the first time since she got over here anyway that she's actually ventured back toward her own childhood home. So we'll see if she can find anything worthwhile as she's trying to keep up with her daughter. And likewise, we need to see what Adise he's getting up to too. Do you have anything up here that you can chase after? I think you may have scared all of the bunnies. We just have one way over here, and you certainly can't grab that. So let's have you jump over the rocks, straight over the rocks on the mountainside. And I guess, yeah, try to chase the bunnies down toward our other hunting groups. That would be a good idea. If we could chase them straight into the waiting arms of Fang and Goji, then I'm sure they would be quite appreciative of that. Now, once again, that looks like all of the safe moves that we can make, so let's go right back here to see what the second little baby is going to look like. As long as he or she has the hammertail in their genetics, okay, let's see if he has the hammertail. Oh no, he didn't manage to carry that actually. So we definitely still want to take Topaz with us because we need that hammertail in our genetics. And it has started to snow again. That's a little bit unfortunate because we need to get Blizzard over there before he gets stuck in the snow. Oh, and not only that, but he's cold again, so he only had that one turn. Oh no, Nettle, you need to come up here and keep your family warm. Let's have Arala pick up the meat and then make her way up here too. That way everyone can stay warm in the middle of this giant huddle, and we have all of these rocks around us. Oh, Blizzard, you have positioned yourself in like the worst possible way. Nip is going to have to go right up there to keep you warm, and then we'll have to leave you guys right there. Hopefully the snow's not going to pile up too much in the meantime. Let's also sniff around to make sure that nothing is coming out to attack our creatures, looking for food of its own, because I'm sure that all of the predators are probably expecting a very, very harsh winter. We do have many little bunnies not only sitting inside the hot springs, so they must be pretty cold too, but also in the water itself. Our hunting party is also getting very cold though, so we're going to need Doe to make her way over here to keep all of the boys warm. She does have the medium tail and the big body, so she actually doesn't have to worry about that. So despite her crippled paw, she has a very, very good use on the mountain. Let's have Kindle scoot over this way too. It doesn't actually look like that's warming him up. Oh, that's because he's on the outside. Of course. Let's move Thorn right here so they're all together in that triangle formation. That should warm them up properly. That doesn't do much for the food situation, but at least we don't have to worry about them losing any extra lifespan while they're out in the snow. And I guess that does mean that we're going to have to bring our creatures back so that we don't get too separated from these ports. Otherwise, most of our young generation is going to end up passing away before we can even get them there. And now I can't see the roots. Oh no, Fawn. It's going to be very, very hard for you to dig these up, isn't it? Well, why don't you keep making your way toward your daughter, because we want to make sure that she's kept warm. So we'll have you keep going this way, and if you happen to run into tasty roots along the way, then we will be very, very happy. And you guys are all going to be nice and toasty warm too, especially now that you have a brand new little baby in the nest. Let's actually name him Jasper to go along with the gem and mineral theme that his family seems to have adopted. And then we'll scoot way, way back here to make sure that all of these creatures are okay too. Thankfully, Snowdrop is nice and toasty warm now, so we don't have to worry about her, but she does want to find more of those roots. If only we could see them under all of this snow. I think there might be one right here. Yeah, there we go. There's one of the tasty roots. But otherwise, I can't really see any others in the area, so she might have to just stick really close by her father to make sure that he's okay as well. We'll have him scoot down here to look for some more crabbits while Fang jumps into the ocean, picks up some shells for them to eat, and then jumps right back. She's getting very, very old too, and I was actually hoping that maybe they could have a baby together. They do have completely different genetics, so maybe it would be a good idea to see if she can carry on her own legacy before she passes away. And of course, it's also Pine's very last turn, so she wasn't able to make it over to Fang in time, but she can at least gather up this one last shell for us. At the very least, all of these older generations passing away means that we will have plenty of food to take with us to the Killer Island. Now, Daisy up here, do you have anything to chase after? You do have tons and tons of bunnies. Oh my gosh. But she's getting so cold too. She's going to end up freezing. Oh, this is not good. We want her to make her way toward one of the groups, I guess. Let's see, that probably means that she should chase after this bunny down here. She won't be able to grab it in time, but she will be making her way toward all of the creatures down by the shore. Now let's gather up the nest, since we won't be needing those anymore now that we have our chosen child of this group. And I think all we could possibly do is maybe bring Lavender over toward the stump so she can kind of light the way for everyone and call them over to these ports once and for all, because I think it is definitely time for us to jump ship here before it gets too crazy with all of the snow on the mountainside. We need to make our way over to the Killer Island. So that might yet again be all of these safe moves that we can make, because we want to keep these creatures huddled together. So let's zoom out and make sure that no balance bears come out to block our way as all of the snow piles down. Oh my gosh, like the worst possible time for this to start happening, honestly. We need to bring Blizzard down the snowy mountain if possible. We'll have to have his parents kind of carve the way. Let's have Nip jump just past Nettle and see how far we can get Blizzard through all of this snow. Oh my goodness. This is going to be even harder than it was before, isn't it? We just have to make sure that he's kept in between his parents though. As long as he has two creatures right at his side, then we shouldn't have to worry about him freezing, and then we can move him a little bit more freely in the future. So we'll leave Rala and Nettle right there, and we'll have Nip instead kind of carve a pathway a little bit closer to these guys. I mean, they're almost at the shore. They're almost there, so they are getting very, very close, and of course Lavender can light the way by sitting right on top of the stump. Now you guys are going to have to make your way back very quickly. Luckily they're all nice and toasty warm, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue. We'll move Doe right back down the shore. They were chasing after their bunnies too, which is such a bummer. They didn't manage to find any of them, but we do have some leeches. Okay, maybe Doe could actually jump in here and kind of like sacrifice herself so we can at least get one little bit of food off of her. There we go. And then they at least might be able to make it over to these ports on the next day, but that means that Kindle is going to have to say goodbye to his brother. They are going to part ways because Kindle would rather stay behind to make sure that his mother is safe, of course, safe and sound, and now she is finally caught up to her very mischievous daughter. And I can finally see a root, yes! Let's bring Silver over here so you can dig that right up for us. Luckily, all of your children are kept warm by Thistle, but we might want to have Topaz start moving toward the ports too, so why don't we scoot you right next to Lavender instead, so you guys can get to know each other, and Lavender can explain this mission to you. She is very, very young, so I'm sure this would all seem a little bit confusing, but she does seem quite brave despite her size, so she must be looking forward to the adventure that she's about to have. Now Daisy, before you end up freezing, let's see if you can find any bunnies out in the snow. No, I don't think so. You have definitely made a little bit of a mistake though. You are probably feeling very, very desperate right now. At least we can say that she has probably learned from her mistakes. She won't go charging up the mountainside alone anymore, especially if she ends up freezing overnight. And likewise, you guys down here, since Fang is on her last turn, let's make sure that they can breed so that they'll have one more baby on the shores with them. That way they'll be kept warm too. So let's go ahead and skip the day one last time and see what Fang's first and last child is going to look like. Let's see, a little royal baby. You look almost exactly like your father. Oh my gosh, they look so similar. The only thing he's missing are those webbed hind feet, actually. And of course, he has those double claws. I mean, this generation has been the strongest one that we have ever seen on the mountainside. So you at least are going to be able to keep the rest of your family safe, even as Fang has passed away. Oh my gosh! And our first sighting of the walrus deer, finally! And of course, Daisy, you must be feeling so upset with yourself because we finally see the walrus deer just as you freeze. So she's not going to be able to chase after this guy, and we really do need like a group of creatures to try to take it down. Oh, that is so upsetting. Next time, Daisy, next time if you decide to go wandering, you better make sure that you have quite the group settled down next to you. That being said though, this should be the very last couple of turns that we make on the mountainside, because I'm pretty sure that Blizzard is going to be able to make his way at least down to the shore. As long as he has all of his family members helping him, then he should be able to make it right down here and get just a little bit closer to these ports. So in the next episode, hopefully we'll be able to crown Lavender the official queen of the Killer Island, just as we leave Violet behind to watch after all of these creatures and the walrus deer finally running around in our midst. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!